So I had a guy ask if I had some of these completed projects that I was bending with the die. If I had two of them and I wanted to bend another one, could I put one of these on each side of a flat bar and then squish a flat one between two already bent ones to make another bent one? And the answer is no, and there's a couple reasons. First being that these are just not strong enough. But even if we ignore that fact, I'll show you another reason. So this here is essentially what I need to bend. It's not to scale, but kind of the same thing. But anyways, if I had one of these bent and then I put another one on top and had them spaced so that they are about 3/16 of an inch, or the thickness right here, I just kind of eyeballed it. Between here and here, I made it about the same as the thickness. But then if you look here, you don't have the same thickness as you have here. It's narrower. So with the die, you can see the top one, this angle is further in than this one, so that the thickness stays the same between them, and same as this bend, or this corner here is further to the left than this one, and then it's opposite here. So for that reason, they won't work because it wouldn't stack up properly. And then the third reason this doesn't work is when this gets bent between the die, this actually has to pull in to the die from both ways, where if you have 4 of these on a long piece, between this bend and this plate in the middle, or flat bar, would have to stretch out, or it would have to slip from all the way on the end to these inner bends, and it would just put a lot of tension on the flat bar and would not work for that reason. Now that's not to say that it wouldn't be possible to make a die that would bend these, but I imagine the best way to do it would be to have almost the same die I have, but a spring-loaded one with very heavy springs, where it can bend that one, and then that spring would start collapsing once it's squished all the way. Then it would start bending this one, this one, this one, this one over a pretty long stroke. So it kind of bend them all in one press stroke, but it would be a longer press stroke, and it would all pull in this direction from that end. And if I was to do something like that, I would make it more like this die that I made a long time ago, where it has these pieces of round bar that are just sitting in there, and I lubricate those, so as it's pulling in, it can just spin those, and it reduces the amount of friction. And if you had those the whole way, then it would help the flat bar slide across. But to make a die like that would cost more than the time it takes for me to bend this amount of flat bar. So even though I have this much flat bar to bend, that die, I don't think it would be worth it to make it. So this die that I made, it's probably my best option because it doesn't take up a lot of room. I can store it, and if that job comes up again, I'll use it, but it's not like a 15-foot long die that costs $10,000 to make. So if I was like some kind of factory that had to put out thousands and thousands of these pieces of flat bar, it'd be worth it, but for what I'm doing, it won't be.